Good morning, afternoon, evening, night. We are living in an upside down world, and it's been verified. It's been adjudicated. We've had a jury agree on the fate of this world, at least from the standpoint of New York State. And honestly, this is just like straight up madness. What is going to ensue from this point on? Because they've left this open now to a gray area. Because as far as the Democrats see it, this man is a felony convict. It just really certifies a fact that I think the main goal with everything they're doing is just confusion, uncertainty, hopelessness. This is the point of the opera, the show that's going on right now. It is entirely the point of it. I feel it, you feel it, we all feel it. This is the point of what they're doing. And it is a distraction once again. I feel bad for my man Trump, but he will figure it out. Let him worry about what's going to happen. Right now, people need to get their head out of both the sand and get their head out of the air. We need to stay level-headed right now. This is a critical point, and we cannot lose focus on the objective, which is to demand accountability. We have to demand accountability, and we have to stop trusting the Republican Party to do what they should be doing. Because the Republican Party should have been doing a lot of things that they're not doing. They're not behind any of the stuff that they say. Very few of them. The ones that are can't get any traction. They don't get anywhere. So it is the uniparty that is controlling everything right now. And at this point, it is our democracy has been our republic has been entirely hijacked by cronyism. This is cronyism at an epic scale. That we're changing into a new economic system because China, America, at this point, the difference is very minimal. I am telling you that as a fact. I'm writing a piece of work right now, and the evidence is substantial that at this point in time, the differences between the East and West are just psychological. It's how you're looking at the things playing out, but ultimately the same things are playing out in both hemispheres of the world. It does not matter. It's all playing out in the same way where a bunch of people at the top are making decisions not only on the things that go on in everyday life, but your money. They're using your money, whether it is tax money or the money you're paying these companies. It's all being used to orchestrate your life, how other people see fit. This is cronyism at a scale never before even seen. I mean, even in feudal times, it was not this bad. But this is back to what we're getting to here. There are so many people that are separated and disconnected from what's actually happening. And as long as people keep seeing a paycheck coming at the end of the week, everybody is turning their heads and not doing a thing. There needs to be a focus on what can be done. What can be done? Because so much of this is going to be the longest debate possible, where no matter what you want to talk about, things are not going to get done. We have to pick up the pieces. Right now, we're staring at these possibilities, these extreme possibilities, where, oh man, if this guy stays in, it's going to be terrible. If this guy gets in, it's going to be terrible, or it's going to get better. We cannot keep putting our perspective onto what's happening tomorrow or what the other person is doing. Everybody in their own life needs to start demanding accountability. We have to do everything that we can to make our voices heard, because they have us fractured. They have us fractured. All of their elements are unified, working in tangent. They're being orchestrated, and there's a structure. There's a rule book. They have guidelines. There is no unity on the right. We have no unity. There's nobody at the top that is disseminating information, that is breaking things down, that is letting you know that, we're doing this. There's nothing is going on. There's nobody. And at a ground level, it is so hard for the grassroots movement to take part because they already have the disruptors set in place. They already have the structure that is saying that this cannot be allowed. This is wrong. What you're doing is not right. You're gathering for under the wrong purposes. We're already operating from that point where we have no momentum at the bottom. The people on the right need to understand that there are millions of people at the ground level that have no way to get in because of that reason, that they're going to lose their job. They're going to have all these immediate ramifications to the fact that they've let this go on for so long and they've dismissed it and put it on us at the ground level, which we can put our money where our mouth is and stop paying these companies. We can stop doing a lot of the things that we're doing. But as far as actually doing anything and getting some momentum at the ground level, it's very difficult because there is no structure from the middle to the top. What happens after that? What happens after I quit my job and make a stand with the vaccine and everything? There's no support. There's no support. Trump, all these people, nobody's saying oh yeah, we'll cop your legal costs like George Soros is doing with the fucking protesters and everything. It's such a minority of the American population that is vocal. All of what you see right now is orchestrated. There's fuck Gaza and all of this stuff. Who gives a shit? We are Americans. We care about this country. All these fucking people protesting. Oh my God. None of them even know what they're talking about if they are white and they do look like an American. And the rest of them, I don't even know where these people are coming from that they're protesting about this shit. Nobody gives a rat's before anything else going on in this country. It's the focus, the shift. It's they got everybody's head in a bag right now. And everybody needs to get their head out of their ass and keep the focus on what is important. And that is what's happening. So stop worrying about if this person wins, this, that. Just do what you got to do in your own life, right in front of you, what you can do to stop this from progressing. Talk to the people in your life. If they don't want to listen, forget about them. Just do the things that you can. You got to reach out. You have to talk to the politicians. You got to send letters. You have to shame. You have to let these people know that your voice is being heard, that there are many others like you. It's just, this cannot keep going on in the capacity that it has. It really, there needs to be recourse for everything that's happened. And there's so much to be done that the problem cannot be sorting out what is all of the information. We have to just go through what is actually happening and start dealing with these things, because there are things that are happening. I don't care how you talk about what's going on at the border. If it's good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's happening. There are people coming in here. There are sleeper agents from so many different enemies of America, that there are a lot of these people coming in. They are refugees. There are people fleeing for more opportunity, just as you would in their situation and your family would. But the other people, the governments are taking advantage of this. Any ill-intended person, government, they are sending people here. There are sleeper agents. They're going to fucking just... You don't think, even without any orchestration from us in the West, you do not think that those people are going to organize and do something on their own? They already know about tons of different groups of people. Iranian, Chinese, forget it. The list goes on. There are so many different groups of people that they already know about, that are organized groups that they're keeping tabs on, that have come into this country and are going to act and want to do things to disrupt not only the election, but our economic system, our stability, our welfare, our way of life, everything like that. And it all starts with acknowledging what is going on and stop giving in to these rabid, fiendish tendencies by these people that are out of their minds. And they are completely unjustified in everything that they're doing and they're saying. You have to, even if they're not going to listen, you have to ignore them and you have to do what you can to make things right. There's so much going on right now, and the cronyism, it's at scales like never before seen. And the fact that you got Obama literally given a presentation, and he's talking about exactly what's happening now is how you destabilize and take over a place. Is just flood the town square with all sorts of, you don't even know what's going on. There's just so much stuff that nobody has any idea. Meanwhile, all the cogs are turning. Everything is happening while everybody's just like distracted and arguing over the storefronts changing and the brick and mortar, shop that got closed. Meanwhile, the whole city's changing. The wires are getting rerouted. Everything, you're not even paying attention. It's exactly what's happening right now. There's so much moving. There's drones that can navigate. Thousands of drones now can navigate through forests and wooded areas. It's like in 10, 20 years, this stuff is going to hit people like a Mack truck. It really is. Like everything around you is changing. All of the mechanisms that work by the people create these beautiful things. And the people in charge learn how to use them on a massive scale. And that is the discourse of human history. When you want to boil it down, every era, every epoch, what happens? What happens over 50, 20, 100 years, 1,000 years? It's always the same thing. All of the greatest things have been distilled up to the top, and then those people lose their mind and they used all those wonderful, powerful, amazing things in the wrong way. And it's just repeats itself over and over and over again. And we're in it again right now. By the way, no real such thing as artificial intelligence. These are machines that are programmed by human beings. They are computer assistive devices. These devices help you do things because they're programmed and they're made in a way that is designed to help people, to service, to improve the quality of life. So much of the AI discussion is blinding and it's distracting the people. People are so obsessed with these things actually being artificial intelligence. They're not. They're not. The real focus has to be on the people who are making this technology, because those are the people who are going to turn this bad. The only way that you get a Terminator situation is if you just like an egg, like turn this AI on when it has human capabilities, and then it's able to do that. Sure, at that level, that is considered artificial intelligence. But we are so far from that point that the real problem needs to be focused on the people working on the AI. It's not AI. These are computer software and computer algorithms written and operated and maintained by human beings. They are the ones with the capacity to, first off, they made this shit, and they're also maintaining, guiding, and directing it. This is the point that everybody needs to stop being blown away with the fact that you got a vacuum that can turn on and do the house while you're not home. It had nothing to do with the fact that that thing has any intelligence whatsoever. There is a computer program, and there are also a bunch of Chinese people in a room getting your data from the vacuum in your house. So that's the thing you need to be worried about. It's not that the vacuum is going to fucking do anything or harm you in any way or take over your house, light it on fire, possibly by accident. But it's the Chinese people and the companies that are gathering the data in the vacuum about your floor plan and how many square meters your house is. And oh, your internet's off, the Wi-Fi disconnected. Looks like 300 people in the area you live just had a blackout. And they're in another country and they have no idea about anything like that. But somehow the information they're receiving could give them that information. That you just had a blackout before your own government knows that the fucking lights went off in your neighborhood. So these are the things. It's the in-between. It's not the robot and the technology. It's not the Terminator situation. It's not so much of what they're distracting you with. It's what's happening, what is going on with the vacuum and the software, and what is the information that's being sent, received, all these things. That's what people need to worry about. Same thing with the social media and all that stuff. There's so much information and knowledge in between there. Like, people are learning a lot, even though most of it is like totally propagandized and everything. Like, you know, there's so many agendas going on with the social media, but you still learn things. And if you understand that this is an algorithm that's trying to find you things to keep you on the platform. So if you, as a person, can understand this algorithm wants me to stay on the platform, so you can fool the thing. You're supposed to be making these things work for you. You don't go on that fucking machine to let this thing show you what it thinks you should see. No. Every time you see something you don't like, don't watch it. You have to show these things that you're in control of it. You can dictate your entire algorithm. You just have to stop being blind to the fact that you're powerless. It's the same thing going on with all of this shit right now. Like, the digital era is all about that. It's about how people feel hopeless, depressed, and powerless, but have the most power they've ever had in their life, in the palm of their hands. So this is the dichotomy, and something we need to really adjust in the modern day, is that there is so much we can do. There is so much that we can do. A guy hopped on a skateboard drinking a fucking drink, and he's a millionaire now at this point. Sorry about that. So this is the point, though. They're trying to take control of everything again. The internet broke their system for a little bit. They had everything figured out for the most part. Then the internet came along. It really threw a wrench in things. But now, it took about 20 something years now, about 30 years since the internet, but they finally re-hijacked and rerouted where they're going with society, and we're along for the ride. Absolutely. And it's something that we have an obligation to put this to a stop. We are the ones in control of what's going to happen next. There are very few people at the top, relatively, in respect to us at the ground level. There are very few of them. And if we stop giving them the light of day, we stop valuing the things that come out of their mouth until they start respecting what's coming out of our mouth, we'll start to see some results. And it really is, there's a time and a place for us to make these moves and actually get some headway. And it might take a little bit, but I think that you know, sometimes you need a bunch of bad shit to happen so that some good things can happen. You know, sometimes you need to be waking up to know that the house is burning. Otherwise, you were just going to go down with it. So, honestly, you have to look on the bright side, because it's never been more clear. The evil is in front of us. The evil is there, and it is trying to take control. It is in control, and it's not stopping. And it's on us to really do what we can to to put a stop to this madness, man, and get back to some normalcy and actually start working on some of the problems that we have in this country, because there's just so much that needs to be done. There are so many different sectors that need to be looked into that are just rotting from the inside. The insurance, the medical industry, the jobs, I mean, everything is crazy right now. I don't even want to go into what I just had to go through with trying to get MRIs done. That everything with the medical system is like, ever since Obamacare, it is insane, the level of bureaucracy with going through insurance. You tell your insurance wants you to tell your doctor something, you tell your doctor something, he wants you to get a form to for him to fill out, and then they send it to the insurance, but the insurance says that that's not what they need. And then, oh my god, you just keep getting, like, I feel like for the first time in my life that I'm actually living in one of those dystopian nightmares of what I think about in Europe happening. You know, everything needs a rubber stamp, and then it gets sent to that guy, and then that guy needs to call this dude to make sure that you got the pay. He did you. Oh my god, I just, this is the level of lunacy, and ultimately the psychology behind why they do everything that they're doing. It is to demoralize you. It is to make you do nothing. It is to make you feel helpless. So do not let it get you hyped. Let it get you active, and go do something. Talk to people. Do whatever the hell you can in the position you are to just have a ripple of just some good coming out from you. Because right now, there's too much bad, and the bad people have a lot of power, and it's very easy for them to do a lot more bad shit because they got money that other people can just turn a blind eye and keep doing all the fucked up shit that they're doing because they get a paycheck, and they get a paycheck, and then their level of living keeps going up, and they don't have to get further and further from the people that they're fucking. And then it's just a way of life, and that's what we're at. That's what we're at. That's where we are. The cronyism, out of control. All these people who are in charge of things, nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing, but they're in charge, and they're representative of us. We have a republic. We have a representative democracy. These people are supposed to represent us. They're not supposed to just do what they want. Oh, I'm elected, so everything that I want is what I'm gonna do. They elected me. That's how these people see it. No, motherfucker, get in the cage and go down the river on the raft because you're fucking derelict of duty right now. It's just unbelievable. Our tax money, it's just fucking wild. It's wild, man. All this tax money, none of it's going to the American people. Going to the companies, going to the conglomerate corporations, going to the government. They're just printing their own money, and we're paying the bill at the end of the day. It is just absolutely fucking ass hat backwards. Really is. But things are going to get better. I can promise you that. It just might get a little bit worse before it gets better. As we're seeing. It's darkest before the light starts shining bright. So anyway, keep a level head. I gotta go check the ice machine. You all stay frosty. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more.